I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Hello and welcome along to Matchday Live ahead of today's Danske Bank Premiership game between Portadown and Larne here at Shamrock Park. This evening's game will be broadcast as always live streamed on We Are Ports TV Live. That is through the 247.tv/NI Prem platform.
Yeah, welcome, as Johnny said there, to Matchday Live. My name is Mark Beattie. As always, if you could take this moment here before the game, get onto our YouTube channel, hit subscribe and like like the video, and also Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well. If you go on and follow our pages there, we'll be very grateful. We have the team news coming up here. It'll come on the screen here now. We'll chat through all the changes. Portadown making quite a few changes. 7 in total I have it as here, so I'll just run through them here. So Scannell replaces Greg Hall, Sam Ward, Taggart, Guy, Crosscrete and Lavery and Stephen Murray all come into the side. Replacing from Saturday's game Barney McKeown, Tipton, Connolly, Tilney, Bonus and Sally. So 7 changes to the home side this evening as Matthew Tipton makes a few adjustments to his side. Yeah,
in regards to the Larne team, there's no changes from their 5-0 victory over Warrenpoint Town on Saturday. They start with Connor Devlin in nets, Josh Robinson, John Heron, Frod Sewell, Ronan Hale, Marty Donnelly, Andrew Mitchell, Luke Wade Slater, Tomas Cosgrove, Jeff Hughes and Dean Jarvis. So they keep the same 11 from their victory on Saturday over Warrenpoint Town.
Yeah, just when I'm on actually, if you're watching this live, could you get on to the comments and leave your prediction for today's game? I want goal predictions, I want the scores, I want the man of the match as well for Portadown. So get on there and give us your predictions, and we'll see how clever you all are. We teased out there on social media about an exclusive. So Matchday Live is getting our first ever exclusive, so we must be hitting the big time.
Big time, definitely.
So we'll take a short week break here. Matthew Tipton's going to come on, chat with Johnny, and give you the big exclusive.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live here ahead of this evening's Danske Bank Premiership game between Portadown and Larne. I'm joined here by Portadown manager Matthew Tipton. Thank you, Matthew, for joining us here ahead of tonight's game.
No bother, Johnny, thank you.
Just go through the team. You had mentioned in your post-match interview on Saturday evening that you would look to make a few changes ahead of tonight's game. You've stuck to your word, 7 changes in all. Do you want to talk us through some of the changes and the reasons for it?
we've boys there that haven't played much. We think we need fresh legs tonight. We understand the difficulty of playing, Cliftonville and then Larne in close succession in terms of the way they move the ball. So it's a lot of work off the ball for our players. If you look at it, Greg Hall's probably played nearly all the time. So unfortunately for him, we've had other injuries at the back, and he's had to cover right back, centre half, and left back. And we felt it was about time he got a break. Unfortunately for the defenders, that's what we have. The 5 of them. We've a couple of young lads on the bench tonight that can play at the back. Midfield, George and Barney. George took a heavy blow to the foot. I had to bring him off. Probably should have brought him off at half time, if I'm honest, but it just, we thought he could get through it. Barney came back after the tight hamstring. I don't think 2 games in 72 hours is conducive with a sore hamstring. So obviously them two go out with Taggart and Sam Ward coming in, who both good players anyway. Played plenty, so moved them in there. Oshin runs himself into the deck all the time, and he was only back after the tonsillitis the other week. So just thought 3 young fellas have been knocking their pans in for us in the middle of the pitch over the last month. Give them a complete rest tonight. Not even in the squad. They're sitting there. I told them they were allowed a bag of chips, but it doesn't look like they've got any. And then in terms of the forward players, Ben Tunley obviously can't play against Larne, and Lee and Adam have put in some shift.
You've continuously talked about, people have spoke about no relegation this season, the pressure's off and stuff. You've continuously said that's not the case. All these players, they're playing for contracts next season, regardless of league position, want to finish up the league as high as we can. Obviously, those players that's coming in this evening, it's like you said, they're playing for their Portadown futures next season and want to make an impact when they're given a chance.
Every time you step on the pitch, there is pressure. And boys, like you say, they may be out of contract, they may be in contract. I need to know, are they good enough? Or else do I need to move them on? And that's not being harsh, that's just the nature of football. We don't want to be a club that's sitting in 9th and 10th in the Premier League. We want to push forward and move on. And we're actively looking outside of the club for players, but we're also looking within to see. We've got to give people a run of games to see can they cope with it. And this is basically, we've 6 league games left now. It's something to look at.
It's a nice segue as we're talking about players playing for their futures. We had sort of teased it on our social media channels that one player has secured his future at the club for the next few years. If you want to talk a wee bit about that.
Yeah, we've signed Paul Finnegan on a 3-year deal. Paul came to us from Larne 2 years ago, and he's been superb. He's rarely injured. I know he's had a couple of knocks and niggles over the last little period and rarely makes a mistake. He puts his body on the line continually for us, and he's somebody that we feel can still continue to grow, can get better, as we've seen over the course of the time he's been with us. We feel he's improving, and we think he's a big future at the club. So along with the 2 other boys last week that we tied down, or 2 weeks ago that we tied down, it's another statement that the way that we're trying to build the club.
I sort of spoke to you earlier on today about Paul. In my eyes, he's a real unsung hero of the team. Like you say, he barely misses a game. He's consistent. You can rely on him 110%. I had sort of spoken Saturday about him and Adam McCallum here last Tuesday night against Dungan Swift. Said I think if somebody had threw blocks and bricks at the 2 of them, they would have headed and cleared them away. Like you say, it's a real big statement to keep Paul here for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and look, and there's others that we're chatting to and we're trying to keep, and like you say, there's others that we're speaking to that aren't with us currently, that there are other clubs, and we don't think it'll be a massively busy summer in terms of 20 and 20 out or all the rest of it, but we certainly think we're trying to eye up a little bit of quality to bring in to add to what we've got, because we've seen enough improvement over the course of the season with the players that we've got and the young lads that are coming through that they can improve. If we can keep likes of Paul and Luke and Lee, who mainstays, and obviously Paddy, who we tied down last year to a 3-year deal, currently out injured. We want to build. You can see where we're going. Adam McCallum has come in and done really well. He's another year left on his deal. So we know what we want to do and how we want to do it. We've just got to work within what we've got, our budget, our expectations. Maybe my expectations are maybe higher than what other people's are, because I don't settle for second best. I don't settle for just thinking, we'll sign this player because this is the level we're at. We want to always try and continually improve it and bring better players in than what's there. Whether we can or can't, time will tell over that, but they're the kind of players that we're targeting.
Well, I'm sure all our fans will be over the moon with that news. Matthew,
hopefully.
Listen, I'm going to let you go and get yourself ready for the game, so thanks for joining us. We're going to take a small break here and we'll be back with Matchday Live in a few moments. Stay tuned.
Good stuff.
Welcome back here to Matchday Live at Shamrock Park as Portadown welcome Larne in the NFL Premier League. I have today's co-commentator and ex-Portadown legend, Philly Major. Philly, welcome to the game.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Looking forward to it?
Yeah, it should be a good game. Looking forward to it. Larne play a possession-based game. They're probably going to have a lot of the ball. Portadown are probably going to try and, on the counter-attack and sit deep and try and break when they can turn over possession. So it should be interesting to watch.
It's sort of a game no one expects anything from Portadown, so they can release that handbrake and go for it, because why not?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, it's difficult for the teams at the bottom of the table now, the bottom 4 positions. With there being no relegation now, there's not a lot of incentive, and it's all about personal pride and motivation to go out and put on a show. And obviously I'm sure Matthew Tipton will not be happy if there's anyone slacking, and he's obviously given an opportunity to some of the fringe players tonight. So, I'm expecting them to go out and put on a real good performance. And again, with the sort of pandemic and the way things have been in Northern Ireland, it'd be great to go out and play football in an evening. So, I can't see why anyone wouldn't want to be out there playing.
Definitely. The one thing I was thinking about tonight's game is this is Portadown's last chance to play against the top 6 team. So it's the last chance to get a big result, really, and that's bound to be motivating to some players. Yeah,
I think so. And again, I think for me, when I was playing, it was always a case you just wanted to beat teams, especially teams who were on the cusp of doing something. And again, Larne, obviously they've got great momentum. They've been progressing as a football club. Early in the season, it looked like as though they were going to run away with the title. Obviously, things haven't worked as well, but they obviously have a real determination to get European football this season, and they're going the right way about it. But if I was a Portadown dressing room today, I'd be thinking, well, actually, I have a chance to really put one over on them, and if I have a chance to actually just put a spanner in their works. And to me, that was always motivation for me, what I could do to really upset the opposition. So, I think it's if I was in that shirt tonight, I'd be thinking it's a good opportunity to try and get one over on them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, listen, if you want to hear more from Philly Major and his co-commentator with Dave Wiggins, get on to 247.tv/NI-Prem, and you can purchase this evening's stream for £7. We'll take another short break here, and myself and Johnny will be back to talk about tonight's game. Welcome back to Matchday Live here at Shamrock Park. It's getting awful cold. It's, the wind's starting to blow here, so I'm going to get the extra coat on in a few seconds. But we'll chat about tonight's game. So Portadown have made 7 changes to the starting lineup. A lot of players coming in, a lot of players coming out. It's a chance for them guys to show their worth, really, to Matthew Tipton.
Definitely. Matthew has made the point all throughout the season when it was announced that there wasn't going to be any relegation. That it didn't matter. Players here, like he had said in his interview there just a few moments ago, about there's pressure every time that you walk over that white line, and there is players that are playing for their future supported down for next season. There's players that's coming out of contract, there's players that's in contract as well, that he needs to know if they're good enough to remain at the club, and this is a massive opportunity for those players tonight, and you would imagine for the last half a dozen 7 matches of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about Philly Major there as well. At one point I made with this game tonight, it's your last chance for the Portadown players to play a top 6 team. So it's their chance to really get one to create a shock almost in this league and get a big result. So that's bound to be a motivating factor for them boys.
You would like to think so. We have yet to be the top 6 team this season. Now, we've held Crusaders, we've held Cliftonville to draws here, we've held Larne to a draw up at Inver, where we've been there and thereabouts, but I've just missed that killer instinct, to go on and win the game. So those players will, they'll want to get a top 6 scalp, and there's no reason why they can't tonight. Yeah,
big exclusive we talked about as well. Paul Finnegan getting a 3-year extension, or a 3-year new contract with Portadown here. I heard you talking to Matthew Tipton, and you were telling about he's the one player that doesn't get a whole lot of credit. But the more times we say that, the more times he's not. He's the big name now. He's starting to really make that impact and becoming that leader that we all want him to be. Yeah,
for me, I think he's a real unsung hero of the team. He come in 2 years ago from Larne, and he's just been so consistent. He's consistent. Every week, that what you get from him, you get 110%. He very rarely misses a game. famous last words. I don't want to say it. Touch wood. He never makes any mistake. Like he's a leader on the pitch, and I think it's a great bit of business by Portadown, and a big statement as well.
Yeah, like and you were talking about him and McCallum, and the one thing you said as well, and you said it before a couple of times, and that time we played Dungannon here Tuesday night, you could throw bricks at the two centre halves, and they would have headed them away. They would have kicked everything, they would have had everything, and they're just they're ruthless, no nonsense defenders. They maybe don't have all the best football going forward. They don't bring the ball out in the back like all of these sexy new centre halves do, the Virgil van Dijks of the world, but they do the basics. They kick things, they head things, they clear things, they block things.
Definitely. I know most teams do a goal of the season or a goal compilation at the end of the season. I would love to see a block compilation at the end of our season, because the amount of times Paul Finnegan and Adam McCallum throw their bodies on the line each and every game, blocking goal line chances, blocking shots, it's unbelievable, and it's great to have players like that at the club. For a long time we've sort of lacked players like that want to be here, enjoy being here, and put their bodies on the line each and every Saturday there, and love playing for the club. And I think those who are the epitome of Portadown Football Club at the minute, and the epitome of what supporters love to see in a Portadown player.
Tonight's game then against Larne. Larne came here a few weeks ago. It feels like we played Larne quite obviously, but we went up to Denver Park. We got a draw against them, a 2-each draw, with the last minute goal from Lee Bonus. Probably could have won that game in the end. Maybe didn't deserve it, but they had a couple of shots for a penalty towards the end. They came here to Summer Park a few weeks ago, and we talked afterwards. We were really undone by a wonder goal and a penalty. Yeah, That's what it really come down to on the night. A penalty and a wonder goal. When you look at some of the penalty shouts that have went against us in recent weeks, that we should have got penalties for. You look at that handball that was given, like on Saturday here against Cliftonville. I know Ben Tillney scored, but Adam McCallum had the top near over his head at one point, and I don't think we were getting a penalty at all. But that Larne game sort of summed up our games here against the bigger teams, where it just things haven't went your way. You haven't got the rub of the green. But we competed. You have to remember where Larne are. Larne's a full-time outfit. Their budget, I would imagine, one of their players probably covers most of our squad. So you have to remember what you're competing with. And 2 times we played in the season, the draw at Inver and the Nar defeat here. We've been more than in the game, and have been more than in with a shout of getting a point or all 3 at times. Right. We're running low on time here, so we'll wrap this up. Give me a quick prediction on the score and the man of the match.
Quick prediction on the score. My heart says Portadown, my head says Larne. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Larne, but I'm going to go with Paul Finnegan to mark his contract extension with a man of the match performance.
Perfect. Well, listen, also before we go, I'd like to mention Eden Red's Euro Predictor. Eden Red's Portadown Supporters Club have brought out Euro 20. What is it? What year is it? 2020.
It's meant to be Euro 2020. It's
so
been played in 2021.
They brought out a predictor. So get in touch with their Facebook page. You can do it online or you do it in person. It's a £10 per entry, and it's £1,000 for the winner. So it's a really good way to fundraise for the Supporters Club, and obviously that money then filters back into the main club. So definitely support that. If you can jump on now, 247.tv/NA-Prem. We have Dave Wiggins on commentary and ex-Portadown legend Philly Major on co-commentary. So that should be a really good listen. So get on there, purchase your stream for £7, and hopefully you'll enjoy this evening's game. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.